You are listening to Two Heels and a Face Wrestling Podcast, a podcast where we believe wrestling is a buffet and there's something there for everyone. Make sure you're following us on all social media such as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook under Two Heels and a Face. That's number 2 Heels and a Face. Make sure you check out our website, twoheelsandaface.com.
Era, 2 Heels and a Face.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Twos and Face Wrestling Podcast. On today's episode, we have a friend of ours, someone who we're going to check in with, see how they're doing. They got a big title shot, big title opportunity coming up. This is someone who has been doing a lot of singles wrestling lately, at least on the freelance side. But he's been scrambling. He's been cooking up those scramby eggs. We're going to talk to Mr. Darius Latrell. And I might even throw a few sports opinions at us too. So it should be a fun one.
We have to. It's a given.
I think we have to. Chris, though, how you doing, man? You were at C2E2?
Doing well. And yes, I was. I was there Sunday. Went out there. It was pretty fun. I mean, it's the second time I make it out there. I came across Dan from Squad.
Dan Escobar.
Okay. So it was pretty good. I think I started telling you a little bit that I exercised a lot of self-control. Did not buy a single Funko Pop.
Wow.
I actually anything that I bought it was mostly for the kids. So just because I gotta stop, like whatever this was happening, like the collection, like it's just too much now. So I can't grow it. Not anymore.
I feel like you're like you could sit down Ivan in that room and just be like, Mufasa to Simba, all of this will one day be yours. And you just like show him all these Funkos. Did you got him a Funko or no?
I didn't get him anything because he's like all about sports and planets. So the day before, okay, I took him to the soccer game. It was his first Chicago Fire game. So just me and him and my brother caught up with us over there. We were out there, watching the Fire game, and he had a blast. So the task was for me to find various different types of Bluey toys and Jack Skeleton.
Throwback.
My 3-year-old. Yeah, she's really into Jack Skeleton. So that was a task. If I was gonna buy anything for the kids, it had to be Bluey or Jack Skeleton.
I hear rave reviews about Bluey. Have you watched
I've watched a few episodes, and yeah, the craze is real. And recently they just had kind of like quote unquote the final episode, so it was a thing here at the house.
No more Bluey.
For now, it's on. They're taking a little break.
Okay.
And it was like a 30-minute, 20-something minute episode. We turned off the lights, got the galaxy lights going, the star lights going, popcorn. So it was a whole deal here at the house.
I saw a bunch of people with pictures of Chavo. Did you meet Chavo?
No, I did not. I saw that he was there. Marty Jannetty was there. And I could have done the Sean and Marty pick, but just didn't get to it.
They were voted the Sean of this podcast, so it would have been you as Sean and then Marty.
Right. So, right. But yeah, no, I didn't come across them. Not sure if they weren't at their booth whenever I was there or whatever. But yeah, overall it was a good time. Revolution Brewery had a big space there for, those beer enthusiasts like myself. So definitely enjoy a couple brews. Cool. As I walked around and hunt down some Jack Skeleton toys.
Right. I'm sure you saw a lot of people wearing freelance gear and things like that.
Freelance gear. I saw the real Jeremy Saha from Pro Wrestling Tees.
Legend.
This Castro. I had to stop by and get their autograph.
Of course.
So yeah, that was fun. The Pro Wrestling Tees booth had Fletcher, Mustafa Ali, and I can't recall who who was it? I can't recall the third. There were 3. Oh, Sky Blue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they had their hands full. It was a busy booth.
Amazing. That sounds fun. I've yet to been to one of those. One day though, maybe. I know the invite's always open when you go, so I have to take you up on that. Speaking of
Gotta slow down your traveling schedule there, Charlie.
Dude, seriously. I need to cut out a few friends in my life. You might be on that chopping block. I'm just kidding. I would never do that. No, I'm joking. Freelance. I purchased tickets to Freelance X.
10th year anniversary.
And you won't be there, unfortunately.
And
birthdays. So the stereotype holds true. This is not a show. Then we will knock off together. They're on a hot sellout streak. I'm sure we'll get into that. Before even Freelance X happens, though, Mr. Darius Latrell has a title shot coming up that we can talk about. So I think he's waited long enough. Why don't we bring him in?
Let's bring him in.
There he is.
What's going on, guys? What's going on? I appreciate the standing ovation coming in.
Yeah. Speaking of freelance gear, you're rocking, I see.
Oh yeah, I'm reverse. Got my throwback freelance hoodie going on. Had to pull it out for today.
I love it, Darius. The last time we talked was March 20, or not the date, but the time that the episode was published, March 24th, 2022, I believe.
Okay.
Last time we talked on this show. I know we've seen each other at shows.
Yeah.
It's been a lot going on since then, huh?
Oh yeah, most definitely. March 22. What was going on? Was that before the TLC match? I think that was that year. Because we came back in 2021, right? Yeah. So that was we was building up to that. Oh yeah, it's definitely been a minute.
You guys were, I think you and Coda, Pick and Pop were just kind of getting hot at the time. I don't even think you had Freelance Underground Gold yet. Just a lot has been going on. You've transitioned to some single stuff. How has the single life been as a single wrestler?
I mean, it's fun, right? Because he's a little bit more focused on me, so I can do some things that's kind of tailored to my character. Obviously, me and Coda are, we're one of a kind, but also two completely different people. So there's a little taking give that goes along with trying to, bring both of our characters into our tag team. And, it's funny now because I feel like we don't tag as much as we used to, but how much fun we have now, like in other promotions, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Our last tag team match, like even though we didn't get the outcome we wanted, it was probably one of the funnest matches I've had this year for sure.
Was that the second wrestling one? Because that's on the agenda.
Yeah.
So I just saw clips of it, but in the middle of the match, Chris, they just went over to these two side hoops because it was in a gym. You know how gyms have like the main.
Yes, I saw clips of that.
And then there's always hoops on the side that they bring down just so everyone can shoot. And they just straight up had a 2-on-2 basketball game. There was at least 2 possessions I saw online where they were just having a 2-on-2 basketball game. The match came to a halt, but I mean there was little kids in the crowd and everyone kind of seemed into it. And then Darius, I can kind of let you finish on what happened. There was a big
So honestly, I did not know. We didn't know the type of venue. That was our first time there. So literally, as soon as we walked into the front door and I was like, "Oh yeah, today's gonna be a fun day. Today is gonna be a fun day, a nice, little easy day." So, and I hadn't seen Cody yet. So it's literally as soon as he came in, he was like, "Well, you know what we're doing today, right?" I was like, "Yeah, I know." So it just one of those things where it was just on the same page and it worked out.
You always had how did you guys? You always talk about this before? I mean, I know your gimmick is your life and your gimmick is heavily centered on basketball. So this is always something you guys like spitballed or
not? I think it's just one of those things where it just makes sense. Yeah, like you don't have to really think too hard about it.
Yeah.
So it really wasn't a long conversation or even something that we had to even think about before. It's here. Let's do it, and we know the pop that we'll get from it. So,
and then it ended with you basically dunking because I think they were smaller hoops, right? Not that you I mean, I'm sure. I don't know. Can you dunk on a regular rim right now?
Yeah. So
Okay.
no, that was a regular size hoop. It just
Okay.
You just made it look small.
it just there. So when I went up to dunk, I had no intention on hanging on the rim.
I know
But
it scared me a second.
yeah. So, but as I was jumping, I realized I was like, I don't think it's going to look strong enough since I'm just jumping straight up. It's an easy dunk. So literally, as I got up there, I was like, I'm going to hang on the rim. And then as soon as I hung on the rim, it started to fall over. So you see me coming down, trying to push it back up at the same time. And I was just like, I don't have $2,000 to be paying for a rim. It probably costs more than that. So yeah. It's funny because the rim was lower than that when I walked in, and I told the owner, "Could you raise this up for me? Because I mean, I can dunk fairly easy, so I don't want to dunk on a 8-foot rim when I can still dunk pretty easy on a 10-foot rim."
Right. If you ever, it was almost disaster. If you ever wanted to go viral, though, and who I'm sure a lot, some people don't even have to listen to this, and I'm sure they believe it. You could set that up and do like some kind of backboard shattering thing or something like that.
Yeah.
Like that, or that in the middle of a match, that might hit levels of reality. Is just like when Mercer picked up the bleachers a bit, maybe.
Yeah. And that's the funny thing about it, because people harp on us, our trainers harp on us about a bunch of different things. There was a lot of wrestling going on that weekend. Obviously, I won that scramble. Did some cool things up in there, but the video that I saw that got the most views was me dunking a basketball, on the court at a wrestling show. Basketball isn't wrestling, but entertainment is entertainment,
Yeah.
So.
Exactly. Where I feel like I'm seeing you. I don't recognize all the promotions. There's so many in the Midwest, but I feel like you're popping up in a lot more posters. Have you been anywhere else in the Midwest or local recently that we should know about?
I was in Iron Spirit Pro out in Bloomington,
Okay.
Illinois. That was February, I want to say. Got a chance to go to Minnesota a while back to some new promotions.
Cool.
Got a chance to work Mondo Lucha.
Oh, nice. How was that?
Earlier this year. Oh, it was so much fun. It was so much fun. And
That's one I definitely want to go to.
Yeah. And we weren't in Turner Hall. We were in their, I guess that's their secondary location. So it was a smaller crowd, but it was still packed. It still reminded me of like a freelance crowd.
Okay.
But it was so much fun. It was so easy to work. The crowd loved everything. And hopefully I'll be back. I know they don't run a lot, so hopefully I'll get a chance to do their big anniversary show. Because the owner, I actually went up there and literally they said, there was no more spots. They had everything. And then 5 minutes later, they was like, well, the spot just opened up. So I ended up on the show. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this, get in cars if you can, because you never know when you'll be able to get on the show, especially for the people that's starting out.
Absolutely. Yeah. Always bring your gear, right? That's at least what I hear them say. I don't know if that applies, but yeah.
Yeah. And then, because I don't want to forget, I also went up after that to WeLuvWrestling. It's out in past Green Bay, Wisconsin. That was a weekend I was with Chico Suave. So shout out to Chico for, getting me booked that weekend.
That's someone who I was going to say, like it's hashtag Viva La Chico. I feel like he's been in Nashville and he's been everywhere. So it's really cool to see you guys spread your wings a little bit. I think, like, as a fan, I follow you, and then I feel like once your star kind of heats up here, it's like, oh, and then I see you retweeting all these posters you're on in the Midwest and stuff like that. So it just kind of feels like you get hot here, and then you can go to these different states that are like drivable. So that's sweet. You spoke when we first mentioned singles wrestling. You spoke about you get to do more with your own character. I want to talk about the promos. Notice the promos, way new promo style. I think it started this year. I think you're using the camera is well positioned, but you're also kind of using like your height and your presence in them as well. There's different things about them. Like that's different. The black and white, like the tone of them is more like you're kind of speaking and teaching someone a lesson almost, as opposed to like a lot of standard promos. People can cut good angry promos, but a lot of them are just like, oh, I'm so angry and I want that thing. I want the belt. But you, I think, kind of flipped it the opposite way. So tell us about like that creative process.
Well, I knew this year that I wanted to challenge myself to try to do more promos, even if I wasn't being booked anywhere. So that's really where the idea came from, getting those things put together. And literally one day I just said, what would be just something different that I can do and still fit the person that I am. So, I get so many people all the time telling me, I get tired of having to look up to you, or, I feel like you're my dad or something when you're speaking to me because you're always looking down on me. Or if I put my hand on someone's shoulder, just little random things like that. So that's really what gave me the idea to, place the camera the way I do it, put it in black and white. So it's just a different type of focus. Because, I'm shooting these in a certain place, but I want the focus to be just on me because, I pretty much shoot them in my man cave. So it's like too much colors. Like, oh, what does he got over there? Look at the stairs. Look at all these different things. So that was kind of the purpose of the black and white. And, and I wanted people to realize, like, I'm talking to you, but depending on if I'm like working heel or face, it could be like I'm talking at you. You just really need to be listening and paying attention and taking what I'm giving you right now.
Yeah, no, you could be taken either way. That's good. It's either like you're teaching the person a lesson or like you're teaching that person a lesson and they've been bad. Kind of like it's either it can be taken both ways. So.
And I think we saw shades of that when teaming with Coda, right? Like you were kind of like the voice of reason and keeping them straight.
Yeah.
So not being able to see that, as a singles, wrestler and being able to kind of see that actual like kind of very calm, but also like you said, I think talking at you type of thing, and you can play it both ways, whether you're either playing heel or face, whatever. You can play around with that, so that's very interesting. It's an interesting take too, to not do the angry promo like Charlie was saying.
Yeah, and I think the thing too is like when it's real, like you can tell. So it's like me literally speaking about my experiences as being this taller person. I remember talking about, it's easy for like average size people to go into a clothing store and just pick things off the mannequin, and you can get on a roller coaster and people don't have to check your height and just different things like that you never have to pay attention to. But there's literally flights at Six Flags that I can't get on because I'm too tall, or there's no leg room, or I have to buy clothes from certain places because people don't carry my size or my shoe size. So when I said, like, how do you feel like you can be up to a challenge when literally life is catered to your, like, you being an average person? Because, you wear a size 7, size 8, size 9, there's a ton of shoes in the shoe store. But when I walk in and I ask for a size 15, they don't even go to the back because they know there's nothing back there for them. So it's like, there's real PTSD for me going to my wife is 5'2" and she wants to go clothing shopping with me all the time. And I'm just like, I don't want to be here. Like, you don't understand. I've been inside for 16. So I think I know if someone has, what I'm looking for or not.
Oh, that's great. The everyday struggles that none of us, we just don't know anything about that. So
just a little piece of my world.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why we're talking here. I think it's no coincidence too. I think as a fan, and Cris can probably attest to this, as a fan and following all of the entire freelance roster, having our own podcast account on Instagram, we see the people that I think put in that extra effort. And it usually pays off. Usually like when someone's cutting promos and they're putting themselves out there, then they kind of start racking up like appearances and meaningful wins, and it like snowballs. that's kind of what happened to you, I think, so far in the first half of this year. It started to snowball a little bit. You won some scrambles, did some scrambles, and now you've earned yourself a title shot, which is cool. Congrats on the opportunity. I think you guys have wrestled for the tag belts, but first freelance singles belt opportunity coming up against Darren Corbin. Now, Darren Corbin's been kind of pissing us off a little bit. Do you feel a lot of it? Do you feel like he's been? I know you've earned your shot, but do you feel like even before that he's kind of been like a cowardly in a way? Do you feel like he is cowardly just in general?
Yes, there's no need to sugarcoat it. He's a coward, and I know I've told the people this before, but Kota deserves the opportunity. And there was conversation with him about, if I win, I'll just give it to him or things like that. But
okay,
again, we're brothers, right? So he said he doesn't want to, take my shot away from me because I earned it in a sense. And, he's been doing his thing this past year. I've been doing some scrambles and different things like that. But this, besides being a title shot, this is my first singles match on the main card, one-on-one match.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So, and I think us being family is the reason why he didn't really have a issue with it. We kind of went back and forth arguing. I wanted to give it to him, but he just said no, like, take what's yours. So, I got to appreciate him for that.
Yeah, and that's something we wanted to touch on too. I think every time we talk to Kota, so first of all, thank you for admitting, yes, hashtag cowardly Corbin, cowardly Corbin, use it. He's mincing his words. He's not just being flat out with what he means, and then he's coming in the matches and sticking his nose where it shouldn't be. Hopefully, he'll give him some revenge. But we've talked. We've been for a while now. We've been on the Kota hype train as of you, and we've been talking to him a lot. But thank you, Chris. We kept asking like Kota, is there any? I don't want to say animosity, but like, do you feel bad that like now you guys are split up a little bit and you're doing your own thing and you're catching fire? And he's like, no, it's all love. Like my success is Darius's success. He's happy for me. Yeah. I'm happy for him. Like, we're not trying to sow seeds of dissent here, but I feel like at least that question should have been asked, and we've asked it. And I think you kind of confirmed it too now, right? That it's all love. This title, no matter what happens, will not tear you guys apart. Can you confirm that?
I could definitely confirm that. And I'll be transparent. And, me and Kota have talked about this. Everybody has their idea of what they want their wrestling career to be. When we did the Secret Stash show and me and Kota got put into a tag team, we, definitely thought it may be a one-off. And we probably both had like ideas of what we wanted our careers to be, like I said. And
okay,
I won't say that we were super close when we started doing those tag matches, but I'm so glad that, we got put together because we came close after that and we jailed so easily. But, I'm sure with time, just because of how close all the freelance guys are anyway, we would have got close anyway. But it just made us so much closer because, our thoughts were the same. We had the same ideas. We always picked each other's brains to see how we could feed off each other and things like that. So it was always consistent talking and things. So, it really worked out. These past few years have been a blessing, honestly.
That's great. No, I can just sense that and feel that. I think Chris can too. Like you guys said, you saw that basketball hoop and you just nodded at each other and you knew you can read each other's minds a little bit. So 100% you guys have gelled, and that's cool to see. And Chris, jump in here if you feel like I'm asking too many questions, but did his success, because he had a really hot 2023, and I think we put him on the shy 25 at the end of the year. I think we put him at number 3. Did seeing that absolutely did seeing that give you any feelings of, and I think this is okay to admit, any feelings of like slight jealousy, but that turned into like any motivation, or was like a mix of both? And like, damn, Kota is really doing his shit, and now did any of that translate into like this hot start in 2024 for you?
I would say motivation more than anything. Like I said, he deserves it. And I always saw the little sparks of the things that he can do in training, like even before we started teaming. So like he has a knack for this, and he always has ideas, and he always will come to a match with different ways to go about stuff. And so with the motivation part is like, he earned those spots. Like he could have easily just had the one match and people did not like what they see, and it could have been that. But every opportunity earned him another opportunity. So you can't be upset with that. And with that being said, it's like, okay, what do I need to do to make sure that I'm ready whenever my name is called? Because I don't think, me not being on singles, having a lot of matches had anything to do with my ability. I think it was just time and opportunity, just like, anything.
Yeah. No, I think it once you have the chance we talk about things snowballing, once you have a chance to snowball, take that chance. You started cutting promos, and you were ready too, It's not like you didn't do prep work. You do the prep work, but then it's like, okay, I'm going over in this scramble. Let's turn it into something. Let's snowball. I think you really took advantage of that. What is what's the strategy for Corbin? Because he is a weasel. Before I spiral, I'm spiraling. We love Corbin. He's being a little bit coward. He's a little weasel, though. What's the strategy to take him down? How do you get around his little antics? He's going to be running out of the ring. He might recruit some help. I guess maybe your strategy is to have Coda by your side, or like how you plan to approach this match.
I don't know, because Coda has been doing things without me by his side. So I don't know if I technically need him there. I mean, I know he's not going to be too far away just in case Corbin tries to, I guess, throw in some extra help from somebody. I mean, I don't know who would actually want to help him, but, just in case, Coda's going to always be creeping around the block. He about that street life, so he ain't gonna be too far. But as far as Corbin is concerned, I mean, you just got to watch out for the trickery. How many matches has he really won fair and square since he's became the champion? So I just got to watch out for him trying to leave a title shot, a chair shot, or something. I don't. And I'll say this, and it may sound confident, arrogant, but I think it also goes along with, me not having many singles matches. I don't think anybody can believe. I don't think you guys can believe that Corbin can beat me, like fair and square. I don't see too many people on the roster that I believe that can beat me, that like legit can beat me, right? So he's gonna have to do a bunch of other stuff to make sure he keeps the title. And notice I didn't say win. I just said keep the title.
That's a key point.
So if we go back to that analogy of the snowball effect, right? You're just kind of on this kind of starting point where things are picking up. There's momentum, and yes, Corbin is has shenanigans going around. Every match that he has, but confident that the momentum's going, you pull off the win. What happens next? Because with that momentum that you're gonna have, you're gonna kind of face the inevitable of Coda also wanting that title shot. Do you foresee anything there, or that's far ahead and we're not focused on that just yet?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I had to obviously get the win first. I would be open to giving Coda a title shot because he deserves it. And I mean, it wouldn't be one of those type of fights that we hate each other. It's just giving him what he's owed. He deserves that. And people might not want to see us fight or have a match, but I don't know another way to right the wrong that Darren Corbin has given us, basically.
Yeah, it'd be out of respect then.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not a conversation we've really had. So I guess we'll just cross that bridge once we get there.
Good question, Chris.
I see. I sense the respect, right? But
Mm-hmm.
there's just something in there that Coda's gonna Coda. Makes me just wonder what he has up his sleeve. But we won't get into that.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I don't think you guys really understand like the amount of love that we have for each other. I feel like the brother in him wouldn't want to wrestle me, and I think it would be the same for me as well. But I think the competitor in him would take that opportunity because it's only right.
Yeah, no, it's a good way to put it.
Well said. Yeah.
As a reminder, I was sorry if my eyes were darting. I was pulling up the show information because this isn't happening at Freelance X that I mentioned. This is happening in the May show on May 10th at the LSA Logan Square Auditorium. It's called Freelance Feel the Force, # Freelance Force. So, and streaming on iwtv.live. So that's the show where you're having your title shot. So I just want to throw that out there in case anyone.
And then, we had that big rumble that night too, and maybe if things work out the way they should, maybe Coda's in that rumble, he wins the rumble and he goes to get that world title shot. I mean, you see Pick and Pop with both the single straps at Freelance.
Let me tell you, that would be domination, huh? Just take a photo of you guys with the Freelance Underground titles and just Photoshop them right now with the white title, blue title. Is that would be chef's kiss, huh?
Hey, we're gonna take over Freelance one way or another.
If you want to keep the hot streak going, Freelance, because they aren't they're not even announcing matches and half the tickets are going. If you want to keep a hot streak going, you have Coda win the Rumble, and then I think Coda Storm. You could probably just announce that, and I know I'd definitely pay a couple GA tickets to watch that match. Just kind of how hot those two people are right now. So
most definitely.
I hope James is listening, and he probably won't because I kind of annoy him, but I will throw these takes at him sometimes.
I'll just text him.
Okay. We'll clip this part. But yes, excited for your shot. Excited that Freelance is doing so well. Any added pressure at like a sold out show versus a non-sold out show? Have you felt the difference in the buzz from all the fans?
So it's funny that you said that, right? Because my X account got hacked back in February. Oh crap! And I know you got some people probably saw that I had made like another account, and in my entire mind when I found out that I was going to be on in Freelance We Trust, knowing that Ali was coming back and everything, I was like, it's going to be one of the biggest shows of the year. I was like, I need my regular X account back. I don't want to be tweeting from some 150 followers when I have 1,400 followers on my real account. So I got to shout out Shaza McKenzie for helping me get my stuff back, because if it wasn't for her, I would have never got it back. And I know 1,400 followers isn't a lot for a lot of people, but compared to trying to start over again from scratch, I literally just after a week or two, I stopped. I was like, I don't want to do it right now. I'm sure I would have got the motivation back, but I was like, I just need my account back. And it took over a month and I finally got it back. But I guess that could speak to some of the pressure, because all eyes was going to be on Freelance that night, which it was. And I just wanted everything to be perfect if I won, So I did win, and I was able to tweet out from my normal account, and my 1,400 followers was able to see everything that happened. So yes.
What is that process like? Because I think I had like a business Twitter that I tweeted, like I would tweet like articles from like marketing articles or whatever, or like if I would go to a conference, I would like tweet about it or whatever. So it would like maybe even slightly help the company I was working for. It wasn't taken seriously, but I think I'm pretty sure that got hacked. And I put in one form, heard nothing, and I think I just gave up because I have like a personal Twitter. But like, what is even that process? How did you break through that wall? I'm honestly curious.
So I did the normal customer service thing on the website. And they literally sent me an email saying that they were going to investigate my situation, and then literally sent me another email right after that and said that we will not be able to recover your account. So, I just DM Shaz and asked if she was able to pass on some information for me, and they pretty much just like reopened the case. But I had to provide proof that I was Darius Latrell. Obviously, Darius is the gimmick and things like that. So it literally took me a month because I was sitting like Facebook screenshots from my personal Facebook saying that I changed my X account to this because I'm a professional wrestler now, and that didn't work. And then I saw it was just like an independent wrestling database that had my pictures. I sent that, it didn't work. I was Googling myself and I found out that I had a IMDb for one of the AEW Dynamite shows that I did extra work. So random. I don't know why it was the IMDb made for that, but yeah, it wasn't Dynamite. It was Rampage. The one match that we did. I don't know why that was on there, but you're on IMDb. You're able to get a hold of those accounts. So I had to send in like my driver's license and all those things and say like, hey, I'm this person. Here's a check that I got from AEW with the name. Here's the contract that has my real name and my gimmick name and all that stuff. So I sent all those things into IMDb and also sent all those things into Twitter, and then they eventually reset everything. They told me like, what email do you want to use for it, and they got everything back. So yeah,
that's intense. I love it. It's a funny story now. I'm sure it wasn't at the time, but
yeah, it was a struggle. But with every email that they said they were going to go on to the next step, I got a little happier. So
there you go. We did reach out to Alfonso. We were talking before. I did reach out to Alfonso for a fan question. I said, do you have any questions for Darius? He goes, none you can say out loud. So I don't know what rabbit hole that would have sent us down. Do you?
I think the only thing I can really say is that go back and watch the last Scramble. There was a small moment in that match that if you catch it, you'll know.
Okay. You booted him right in the chest, right? I think that happened.
It was a moment, not a. Yeah.
Okay.
It was a very small moment, and I don't know if a lot of people noticed it. So if you notice it, then you'll know, like, yeah, those are the jokes all the time outside the ring, outside the training. So
okay.
So I got two questions regarding that, right? So Alfonso, right? So you guys have Alfonso, Coda, you, Chico, close group of people. How did that group come to be about?
I mean, obviously you had the guys that started when Freelance opened, me, Davey, Trevor, August,
Right.
and then, a bunch of other people started coming in. Alfonso was kind of like that second class, but he was one of those people that just kind of stood out. Then Coda started training there. He had experience, Saving Gage, and all these people, like one by one. We, a lot of us were the ones that were eager to get into these carloads and go these different places and take these trips everywhere. And during those conversations of like traveling and tearing down and setting up, and, you know, just learning more about each other and realize that, you know, we can joke, we can be serious, we can critique each other, you know, give our thoughts and opinions, and there's no real judgment. And if anybody does have any, you know, I can't even say animosity because we really don't argue that much, but even if there are some disagreements, like there's just ways to get back to it. You know, I think when you just have chemistry like that, it just falls in place. There's no real like, oh, this was the moment. It's just a gradual process. And, you know, hanging out at the shows and going to eat, going out to eat, going to, you know, hang out at each other's houses. Like we do all that stuff. So,
yeah. No, I think you kind of, as you mentioned earlier, is just timing. You guys all kind of come in around the same time and bond with each other and like support each other. And it's kind of like a good support group. At least that's my observation of it. But
yeah.
Okay, ending with a little bit of sports. Let's get the bad sports out of the way first. Now, this is someone who hasn't watched a ton of Bulls games, but like, what would you do to fix this team? Because I know but I think there was a little bit of life this year, maybe a couple runs, but what would you do? No.
No. So my thing with the Bulls, I think it was 2 years ago when they first got DeRozan and Alonzo Ball, would have been the best year for them. And I know people got injured towards the end of that year.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever would have thought that they was going to win a championship, but I just knew that would have been an exciting year, which it was until
we were fun. We were competing, right?
Yeah, and I think we were like number one, you know, like before like Caruso and Lonzo Ball got hurt.
Right.
What was that, 2021? Yeah. So
right.
I think we would have made a good push, but it's not right now, not enough talent to actually win the championships. And we're not going to get anything in the draft because we're just good enough to barely make the playoffs. So we're not getting any high draft picks or anything like that. We're going to have to, you know, try to trade for some future assets, get some future first round picks, you know, get a little lucky and, you know, maybe even try to get a superstar to sign, but you got to have the right pieces to attract like a big name person to come here.
Yeah. It's finding two guys, maybe courting a third. It kind of feels like has been the recipe.
Yeah. It's either that or try to build through the draft, but you got to get the assets to really get a high draft pick. If we're going to keep being a eighth seed or a ninth seed, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Stuck in that kind of purgatory.
Yeah. But I will say we did have, again, injuries again, you know, still waiting for Patrick Williams to make that leap, but he was hurt. Obviously, Lonzo Ball is still hurt. Who knows what he's going to look like once he comes back. Maybe they're waiting until next year to see if the full team will be back to try to give it another shot.
Yeah. This is coming from someone too who has watched, I know, 0 NBA playoffs this year. And that's not because I think the playoffs for any of the big four sports are really, really fun. But who do you have winning the title this year?
I have Boston. I got Boston winning. I would love to see Boston in Minnesota just because I would like to see Tatum versus Edwards.
A little parity, Newt's Minnesota, that'd be a big step for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My thing is I think Minnesota has enough to beat Denver. I don't know. And it's funny because it's always matchups. Like I believe Minnesota has enough to beat Denver. I think Boston can beat Minnesota, but I'm not quite sure if Boston can beat Denver.
Yeah.
So
that's how they match up against each other.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
when I do this, what does this mean to you? Ready?
Hey. It's the new thing. I'm rocking with it. Bear claws up.
How excited are you, man? Caleb and Rome at 9. He fell to us.
So I'll be honest. I was a Justin Fields guy. I did not want them to trade him and draft a new quarterback, and that had nothing to do with Caleb Williams at all.
Okay, fair. I have a Fields jersey in my closet, so
yeah. I just didn't trust the Bears staff to develop another quarterback.
Why would you?
Right. And I think Fields would have had with this team that he has, I think he would have done a lot better. But I understand that if they feel like Caleb Williams is a generational talent, I think you do have to take a shot at that, because if he's generational, like they say, maybe they don't have to do as much development. And I was upset for a while, but as the time went on, I've been getting more excited. And, I didn't know much about Caleb, but I like his personality. I like how energized he is.
Definitely.
We are so used to having like the reserve, laid back. I'm happy to be here, get to work, get the job done. Thankful for my teammates. Like, I like that he's, could be perceived as arrogant. Like, maybe that's what we need in a quarterback,
maybe
right now. So it's a different change of pace. And Rome of Doomsday falling to us. Thank you, Atlanta. I guess, like,
seriously, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, because there's no way. I don't understand their
I think they're trying to do the Packers formula, where it's like draft a guy and have him sit, but the timing kind of seems off.
Though.
Yeah, with Kirk, the timing seems really off. It's not like they had Kirk and he's kind of on his last couple of years. It's like you just got this guy. So
yeah, so I mean, hey, I'll take it, because Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, like, Doomsday will probably start coming in as the third option, and then he can work his way up. By the time Allen retires, he could be that first or second option. I think I think it worked out that way. Like, yeah, we have basically two number one guys, but one of those guys is going to probably be heading out soon. So let's make sure we still have some firepower, and he can learn under Moore and Allen like that. So it works for me.
Yeah, I mean, having Allen as a 2, I think we just need like 13 strong games out of this guy, because I know I'm kind of already expecting that he's going to get nicked up here and there, maybe miss 1 or 2, just that he's kind of in that stage of his career. I don't want that to happen to him, but I'm just kind of expectation. So if you have Rome there, that can slide in. Maybe another guy, Tyler Scott, maybe take a step forward, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we got so many weapons. Like, I love Cole Kmet. Like, I don't think people realize how good he is, and I think
because people compare him to Travis Kelce, and it's just like not every tight end. There's like been 3 tight ends like that ever. It's like Travis, Gronk, and one other person. Like, most tight ends are like Cole Kmet, and he's like on the above average side of that style of tight end. So.
Yeah, he really is, and I think I'm excited to see what he does when is even more firepower, because it's now just open up a lot of things for everybody now.
Absolutely. No, I think you hit the nail on the head. You have to take this guy. If you're a GM and you pass this up, you're fired immediately. I feel like you have to take this guy with this high of a ceiling. He could have a way higher ceiling as a passer than Justin. No offense to Justin. I love Justin. So yeah, looking forward to it, man. The Bear Claw. We're gonna be throwing it up. We're gonna be throwing out the Bear Claw. Yeah. Maybe even get a little nail polish out. I support it. However you want to express yourself.
You gotta do what you gotta do. Have they announced the times for games yet? I don't want to see. I need to get me some tickets this year.
There's a game in London.
I'm not going to London. I'm not going to London. I mean, I've been to London, but I'm not for football. I got to go to a Soldier Field. I got to get in as many as I can before they tear it down.
Yeah, you got to go now before, because while they're building this new stadium, I think this is happening. They're going to build it next to. They're going to take down parking lots. It's already cramped and crowded. They're going to take down more parking lots to build this new stadium. So tailgating for those like 2 years is going to be an absolute nightmare. So go now.
I was under the impression that because they already have the Arlington Heights place, they would just go over there while the rebuild's happening.
To do, I mean, it's not
play. There's
no seats there, right?
There's they got torn down the track. There's nowhere.
Oh, they tore the whole thing down? Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna play in a current Soldier while the new one.
You guys are gonna be in Toyota Park right there.
That would be, if it's easier to get in and out of that place, maybe we'll give it a shot.
I mean, worst come to worst, they can always go back to Champaign, but
that's right. They did that, yeah.
But I don't know. I just need to get out to some games. But I'm from Chicago, but I can't sit out in the cold. So if I don't go in September, then I'm not gonna go. That's the only thing.
I get it. Leave the cold games for me. I think I've been to for like the past 8 years. I've been to a December home game, and some of those are
crazy, crazy. See, that's something that my wife would do. See, my wife is from Indiana, so she's a Colts fan, But I remember one year she went to Six Flags in November, and I'm like, why? What sense does that make? But I guess But she also has the AC on in the winter and stuff like that too. So I don't.
People are different.
Yeah. Hey, Mary, I love my wife, but make sure y'all agree on the thermostat before y'all move.
That's great. Darius, it was great catching up with you, man. Cris, did you have any final questions or anything?
I don't. I'm just as far as Two Heels in the Face, and I want, I think I can speak for Charlie. Like, we're just in it for the ride, man. We love seeing you out there.
Mm-hmm.
One of the pending questions was, it always freaks me out when you dive into the outside of
Dude,
the LSA ring, right? Like, those stairs are so close. It feels
You hit
like
your ankles
there's
hard,
no
man,
room for you at all. Somehow you managed to pull it off. I don't know how you feel after that, but even for me, like, when I see that, I just clinch. So,
man, I don't even know. I don't know. It's adrenaline. It's adrenaline because I think I feel like the funny thing is I see those dives and I'll be like, yeah, I could have jumped more.
And land on the stage, like,
yeah. I mean, I see it because I feel like I'm not jumping as high as I could, and I won't say I purposely try to do that because I wanted to look as good as I possibly can, right? But I think it's just part of me critiquing myself. Like, I could jump higher, I could jump out further if I wanted to as well, but I just want to stay safe. I guess
please stay safe.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was saying, we're here for the ride. We want to see that trajectory kind of, improving and getting more title shots, and whatever success means to you is projected in the ring. So we'll enjoy it along the way. So yeah, thanks for coming back, spending some time with us, and next time we have you on, like, there might be some, not just gold on your wall, but hanging around your shoulder there.
Hey, we shall see. All right, we shall see.
What's that? What's that X handle? The right one there, people can follow you.
The X handle is One Man Dynasty _, and it's all letters. So One Man Dynasty _, and that's my Instagram as well. I do have a Facebook page, and you just Darius Latrell that. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Hashtag Corbin when sharing this.
Yeah, and then I just wanted to give a shout out just because I appreciate you guys. I just wanted to give a shout out. We lost somebody obviously last week in our wrestling community. Trey, WeLuvWrestling. I didn't get a chance to do the balloon release on Saturday because I had a close family member's funeral to attend that day too. But I just wanted to shout him out, and I know that just say rest in peace to him. And I know I didn't know him like that, but I think anybody can attest to people that you have lost that you probably didn't have the closest relationship to, but at the same time, they always made you feel a certain way every time that you interacted with them. And I know with Trey, I could be somewhere and I don't see anybody I know, and I would always hear Darius Latrell, and I automatically knew it was him. Nowhere, no matter where it was, Indianapolis, California last year during WrestleMania, I was in a bar and I just Darius Latrell, and I'm like, my boy, so it wasn't the quantity of interactions, but definitely the quality. So I just want to, just say RIP to him. And then just because I just want to, because I know she'll listen to this, just shout out to my wife as well. Just because I started training like 6 months after we got married, just kind of randomly. It was never a conversation that we had. So, the support that she has given me these almost 6 years now, since I started training. You know, and she's not like, I won't say like a wrestling fan. She'll ask questions, but you know, so I appreciate her for all the support that she has given me. So I just want to say love you and I appreciate you, because I know she'll probably listen to this too.
Very well said. And yes, the support that came out for We Love Wrestling was immense. Didn't really know him too well either, but it is those little mini interactions. That's kind of why Cris and I I think when we first started going freelance shows, we loved it so much, because there was freelance squad, right? Like the Hank, the Pack, like those people welcomed us in. And those were kind of like became our wrestling buddies. And then like you kind of meet your wrestling buddies and you get to see them once a month or 4 times a year, or however often you go.
I mean,
it's really cool to see.
We love you guys, man. That's why Coda is bullying y'all to attend these LSA shows.
I know.
Together. You know, I mean, it might sound a little like tough love, but you know, we want to see you guys. There would be just extra excitement seeing people that we know are like the faithful people. Because you know, I wasn't there when freelance first started, so you know, you guys help bridge that gap for us, for me at least, because I know Coda was trying to sneak into wrestling shows from the beginning. So,
and that's what it's all about. I mean, there's wrestling, and then there's the wrestling community. And you know, you mentioned like small interactions, or sometimes it's just a head nod, right? Because you recognize people like the regulars, even though you don't talk to them. So it all kind of becomes part of the enjoyment of going to a show, of you know, seeing the action in the ring and following the storylines, but also seeing a familiar face, right? Even, you know, at times, you know, people have a hard time going out, but if you know you're going to a wrestling show, you might see a familiar face, and they're there because you like wrestling, they like wrestling, and then all of a sudden you feel like you're in a safe space. So but yeah, that's what wrestling does, man. And then here we are 7 years later, Charlie and I, not knowing each other, but we started podcasting and enjoying wrestling. So.
Yeah, that's how our friendship was built, through wrestling. That's fantastic. I couldn't have said it better than both of you guys. So I appreciate the night. I appreciate the time. Cris, you can take us home.
Absolutely, man. So as far as Two Heels and a Face goes, you can always find us social channels, Two Heels and a Face. That's number 2 Heels and a Face. Check out our website. We just released a post of top 5 indie wrestling venues. So check that out. twoheelsandface.com. It is a wacky one. There's probably some controversial selections there, or rankings, as always. But you know, we welcome the criticism, the feedback, and your opinion. So feel free to let us know if you felt like LSA should have took number 1, because I'm sure that's a popular take there. But you know, there's a few that people will have opinions about. But yeah, check out twoheelsandface.com. That's all I got. Make sure you hashtag Viva La Chico and hashtag Cowardly Corbin.
Hashtag Cowardly Corbin. Darius, I know you're going to say something, but just tweet me your opinion on that article. Okay, give me a quote tweet with your 1,400 followers, please. We need some more.
I got you. Because I planned on listening, so now I definitely have to listen now, because I got you.
Yeah, appreciate it. All right. Well,
all right.
Thanks.
Have a good one.
All right, guys.